Hello, this is Laura talking to you live today on Laura's Raw Beauty. And what I'm wanting to talk about today is my natural occurring changes that have happened since I've been on a raw food diet. So I came onto this video today totally natural without any makeup, not even a drop of makeup. I love to wear makeup. It's my personality. It's part of what I do. And when I go out and I'm in public, I like to look colorful and dressed, and I enjoy wearing makeup. So, but the reason why I decided today to not put any makeup on, not only because I'm home and I don't have anywhere to go, and I love to look natural when I'm at home and I don't have places to go. Usually I have to run to work at least for a couple hours. I have to go to the grocery store. I've got things to do all the time, and I always feel the need to have to be groomed. But anyway, the reason I think that it's good to be doing this video in a natural state is because I know a lot of people might say, well, she's talking about all these things and all the changes in her skin and stuff, but then look at all the makeup she has on. So what is going on underneath? So this is what's going on underneath. To start off with, I had a lot of problems with my gums. Since I was growing up, I had problems with my gums, which was gingivitis and a lot of bleeding gums, which every time I brushed, I had bleeding gums. I found out that, that's a really bad sign of things. So you really need to work on getting rid of that. Well, for many years, I thought that I was eating healthy. I ate a lot of Mediterranean style foods, and with fish and lots of vegetables. I still juiced and things, but I never had any results. I went on high raw, I went cooked vegan, high raw vegan, tried a lot of different things. I was never like where I spent a lot of time going to McDonald's and places. I didn't eat out of cans for lots and lots of years. I was pretty conscious for a long time, but I never really understood why. I never really got to the true core of health until I went on a completely raw food diet. I just want to say, even though this is not exactly what the video is about, but I want to say that there is a huge difference between eating a fully raw diet and any other diet you can possibly do as far as getting to underlying health issues. And I would be number one to tell you that, because I have been such a health advocate for so many years, trying to do healthy things, and never saw any changes in my underlying issues until I went on a completely raw food diet and started breaking through some of the problems by doing cleanses and keep detoxing with raw foods. So the first thing that I noticed when I started to eat raw and started to get rid of toothpastes and all kinds of irritants and different chemicals, and just started using a water pick and eating natural foods, I was noticing that my gums were getting a little bit better. But I also had mercury amalgams in my mouth that I needed to have removed. And I went to a holistic dentist all the way in South Carolina, 2 hours from where I live in Western North Carolina, just to have this done. It took a couple of hours, and they have to wear masks and everything. But after that had happened, I made sure that when I came home that I was eating cilantro by the bushel and a lot of other bitter greens that I was eating, and all this because that helps to get rid of metals and stuff. So I did that, and I also found out that I did have parasites. Most people actually do, believe it or not. So it's not something that's like, oh my God, you had parasites. I mean, people have them, they don't know them. They could even get into your sinuses and into different parts of your body and cause a lot of problems. And one of the biggest signs of having parasites is craving a lot of sugar, which was something that I used to do a lot and don't anymore. Don't even, if I eat one piece of raw chocolate now, that's like enough for me for a week. I can't even really tolerate a lot of that kind of sugar. Now, fruit sugar, yeah, but like from the maple syrups and like chocolate and stuff, I can't even really eat a lot of that anymore because I got rid of those pesky parasites in my body. Which, when that started happening, and all of the salts and the sugars and everything from many, many years of life, even being someone who was fairly healthy eater compared to most people, I was still had a lot of underlying things that were happening coming out of my body. So I didn't feel my best for quite a while. It was about that first year and a half I was doing a lot of extensive stuff. And no matter how bad I felt, I just kept sticking to this because I believed in it. And of course, I changed my water and don't drink out of plastic anymore. I sometimes will make my smoothies out of the water that comes from the Mountain Valley Spring thing that I have here. But as far as water in general, I drink tons of water, over a gallon a day, and I drink only distilled when I drink water. I changed to distilled water. At first it gave me headaches until my body started to get used to that. But between all of these things happening, I noticed my teeth stopped bleeding, my gums stopped being as receding, and I noticed my teeth starting to look whiter even without having to use crest strips, which I don't use those anymore. But I did notice a natural whitening happening to my teeth, and my gums just feeling and looking a lot healthier. And starting to use some natural oils like carrot seed oil, getting rid of all of my makeup that had chemicals in it, and using only top of the line clean makeup. I had to throw everything out, all my favorite stuff. I used to love MAC makeup and things that are loaded with a lot of different chemicals that I don't use anymore. I had to get used to more natural makeup. And even though I do up my eyes and my lips, I don't really wear a lot on my skin anymore, just a little bit of bronzer. I used to put like sheets of stuff to try to cover some of the brown spots. And I had one particular blotch on my cheek, and I will tell you, I tried every single product on the market for years and could not get rid of that. And when I went raw, it just started slowly disintegrating, and finally it was just gone. Am I saying that I don't have some tiny little like freckle-like spots or something? I might have a few, but none that are bothering me. I mean, a lot of people just have freckles or whatever, but as far as the blotchy stuff and the evenness of my skin and the breakouts that I used to get, some not real bad, but I did get a lot of little small like acne things always around my mouth here and there, and all that stuff just completely disappeared. My skin stays clear. I do a lot of at-home things, nothing extensive. I do not believe in Botox. I do not believe in having things zapped at the esthetician's office anymore. I just do things at home, and some facial exercising and toning and different food masks that I like to kind of whip up myself, and oils and stuff. But other than that, this eating on this raw food diet has been doing amazing things from the inside out, and the inside out and outside, coming together and really showing significant changes in my all-around appearance. Another thing that I really notice is that this took a really, really long time. Now, those things I noticed in the first year and a half or so, and then after about 2.5, going into 3 years, I noticed my eyes getting to where the whites in my eyes starting to look more whiter and more clear. That takes a very long time, and I've even heard some raw foodists that have been on it for many years say that it took 7 years or so before they started. And it depends on the extensiveness of what kind of eating you were doing before that and what kind of things you have in your body. I mean, everybody's body's a little bit different, but for me, I still think that my eyes will get whiter and whiter. I still have like maybe some very tiny pink like veins that I could barely see as much, but my eyes used to have very red veins, and because of my allergies and all the toxic chemicals probably between makeup and whatever other stuff that I was doing caused to make a lot of that redness stay in my body, plus my body not being clean on raw foods like it is now, and all the water that I drink and the clean water, my body was just constantly trying to get rid of toxins, but it never really was getting rid of them because I was still putting them back into my body with certain foods that I still ate. Even though I ate somewhat clean before a raw food diet, I still ate some things that I would never eat again now, because I know that if you do not eat completely raw, you're not actually detoxing. If you start eating breads, pasta, cereals, sugar. Now, I'm not saying occasionally cook some beans or something, or something like that, but I'm talking about breads, pasta, cereals, baking, all of that kind of cooking and stuff. Your body is never going to actually detox. So I have been now pushing into the 4th year, and it's taken that long for my eyes to really, now I'm doing some extensive cleaning in my body. I feel that I've started getting more massage, which is another way of releasing more toxins out, and noticing differences as time goes on. And I still do some cleanses. I did a 7-day water fast, which was really, really hard, but that's another really, really good thing to do to help get rid of a lot and kind of restart the body again. But those are the things that I notice, and I definitely feel like my skin has improved immensely as far as having a lot more of an even tone, and definitely having more of a clearer, less breaking out skin, and definitely, like I said, my eyes. Another thing that I have noticed and been noticing more and more, and people have even been saying, is that your hair just seems to be growing. I never can grow hair. I wore hair extensions for years because I wanted hair that was longer than past my shoulders at one time. It just would not really grow, and it was really, really fine, and I was losing a lot of it in the shower. And I was also, like, in the back of my hair in this area, I actually had like holes. Like my hair was just, I went through a period about 10 years ago where I was going through extensive stress and different things, and my hair was just absolutely horrible. And so but I know that the seaweeds and a lot of these things that I have talked about, and collagen has really, but you have to remember that all these things, if you're still eating and you're not getting rid of the things, it's not going to it's not going to absorb into the system like it does when you're on a raw food diet. And I know this so well that it's beyond what I could even say in measures. You know, animals do not lose their teeth, and they do not get gray hair that falls out. They do not lose their hair. They don't have brittle bones falling apart. Only humans have been consuming all these things and causing the aging process to really accelerate. And that's strongly how I feel about it. I really feel like you can age backwards by doing these things that I'm talking about. And these are the things that I have noticed, these changes in my appearance. I have noticed extensive changes in my feeling, my behavior, of just being able to not have lots of depression, and get up every morning with meaning, and have a lot more vibrant energy. Like I said, no sugar drops, you know, in the middle of the day. Still can come home and complete tasks after a full day of work. Things like that have changed. You know, I've always been an exerciser, but I'm actually getting a lot more out of it because I have a lot more energy to put into it now. It's not such a forced thing that I feel like I have to do. It's actually a thing that I'm feeling like I'm getting more out of it now. So these are the changes that I've experienced, and there's probably even more changes. I did have on my legs, I've had this stuff that the pigment, I forget what they call it. It's like some kind of versicolor. They call it TINEA, versicolor. And it's when it's actually a fungus, and a lot of that comes from candida. And you know, a lot of people have candida, and what feeds candida? Bread. Bread is a feeder of any kind of fungus. So, and it also, the wheat and everything is it inflames your insides. It's not anti-inflammatory by any means. So this diet is an anti-inflammatory lifestyle. And so I am noticing each year, because when you lose that pigment, it takes a while to get it back, that I have less and less, and the spots are smaller and smaller and smaller, because they used to be sort of like the size, a little bit smaller than a quarter, and now they are down to little pin size, small little like sprinkle dots, that when I go out in the sun, you can kind of still see a little bit of them. The sun is not causing them. The sun is just making it show what the missing pigments that were in there. So some of these things can take up to 7 years. And the reason that it can take up to 7 years is because it takes about that long for all of antibiotics to get out of your body. So if you live on this lifestyle, you'll never need an antibiotic again, or any medications. But medications and antibiotics also rip the good stuff out of you and cause you to have bad gut bacteria and a lot of different things. A lot of it comes down to the gut too. And my gut each day is getting better and better, and I can see myself getting better and better as time goes on. So that's basically it. There's probably other things that I forget to mention, but that's definitely a good start in letting people know what this lifestyle has done for me. And I know I'm just a person. Nobody knows who I am, and it's not important. It's like I'm nobody. I'm just using myself as an example, not really just trying to tell the world all about me, but using myself as an example to let people know what this lifestyle has done for me, and that I have spent a lot of time reading and listening to a lot and following a lot of other raw foodists through the years that have told stories and their story about their illnesses and problems, and everybody has different ones, but have had very similar recoveries and things. I believe that this lifestyle is the way that the Lord really wanted us to eat and live, and that through the years we have gotten into so much of a quick society and started adding and adding and adding more unnecessary things into our body. And sometimes people will say, well, your body is meant to clean itself out, but you have to help it. It's not going to clean everything out, and if it was, why do we have so much disease? Why is everybody struggling with all of these things? Well, I might as well say, I had sinuses and urinary tract infections for years. That's why I took constant antibiotics, and I had headaches continually, and that's why I took Advil and popped even Goodies powder, which probably ate a hole in my stomach, not mentioning the fact that when I was growing up, I was a bit on the wild side, and I did a lot of things that weren't good for me and good for my stomach, so I've had a lot of healing to do. But anybody can heal. You can heal anything in your body. Your body is an amazing machine that the Lord gave us, and I'm very grateful to the Lord, and I'm very grateful to be able to talk to people about these things and try to encourage people, hopefully somebody, to eat better, or just start adding more raw foods and starting to eliminate some of the processed stuff and sugars and really bad things for you, and start to think more positive. And hopefully I can get at least one person to get something out of this, and that's all it takes to make my day. Thank you so much. I hope that you enjoyed listening to this video, and please give me a thumbs up if you did. Have a great day. Peace